Today we're going to go over the installation of the JLT cold air intake on your 2021 Hellcat powered Durango. Tools needed are going to be a 13mm socket ratchet and extension, 8mm or 5/16 nut driver, Phillips head screwdriver, a pry tool or regular screwdriver, and a pair of pliers or an 11/32 wrench. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is remove the stock airbox. In order to do that, we need to loosen up the clamp at the throttle body. Unplug your inlet air temp sensor, squeeze and pull. This is a Pcv sensor. There's a clearish white tab. Pull that back and squeeze and pull, and then the PCV connection, you're going to grab it with both fingers, squeeze the tabs and pull. Now you can remove it from the throttle body and pull straight up. We also want to remove this block off plate right here. Take your pry tool or a regular screwdriver, remove the push in tabs on the front, and the weather strip is attached in here. Reach in and work that loose and remove that. We're also going to remove this painted 13mm bolt in the side of the apron. Underneath the stock airbox, there's also this plastic plate, which has a wiring harness attached to the side of it, the tab. Use your pry tool or your hands, work that out, and remove that. All right, we need to get this sensor off of here, and it's got 3 plastic rivets on it. The easiest thing to do is just take a utility knife. You could also grind it down, but if you take a utility knife, they come off relatively easy, like that. Just like that. And the inlet air temp sensor, turn counterclockwise, unthread it and pull that out. We're going to need that as well. Take the supplied screws, rubber gasket, and IAT adapter plate and attach that to the side of the tube. You can see inside there it's machined out to accept the inlet air temp sensor. So turn that till it drops a little bit, a little quarter turn, and that's locked in. Now we want to take the PCV sensor that we removed from the stock airbox. We don't need to use this O-ring, but we also don't want to lose it. So what I like to do is squeeze that up and roll it up to the top. Now if you ever do need to return to stock, you've got that there. This is the bracket we have machined for it. There's 3 holes in it and 3 holes in that. It will only line up one way. Line those up and take the supplied stainless screws and nylock nuts and lock it down. Next thing we're going to do is connect the supplied hose to this side of the fitting. Go ahead and put a little oil on here. Any kind will do, anything to lube it up a little bit. It's a tight fit. Take this and push that on all the way to the top. At this point, we're going to start installing the airbox. I'm going to lower that down into position, lift up on the weather strip, get that in this little area here. And the first thing we're going to do is use the supplied push pins to lock that into the holes that were there holding the block off plate. Now take the supplied stainless steel 13mm bolt and lock that into the apron. Now we need to mount the PCV sensor. Remove this 13mm nut on the strut. Bring your assembly in. Come under the AC line. Under this hose and onto the stud. Use a stock bolt and tighten it back up. The fitting on the end of the factory hose will swivel. So turn that to line up with the fitting on the sensor. You'll hear it snap in. And then also plug in the electrical connection and lock it down. Now we're ready to get the good stuff in. Go ahead and drop the air filter in and line it up with the hole. Have the connector on the throttle body end to where you're creating an arc. Leave it loose because you're going to need to move it around. Okay, now guide the filter and the tube together and then down onto the throttle body. Having these clamps loose is very helpful. Come on the back side, get that silicone around there. Get this all on and loose. First thing I want to do is I want to tighten up the air filter. We know that's in the right position. And then check fit here. We want this to have no pressure on it. Go ahead and tighten these up as well. Take your inlet or temp sensor plug that in, and then reach down and get the hose connection from the solenoid. And just like the other side, a little bit of oil is going to help that slide into the grommet because that is very tight and we want that to have an airtight fit. Just like that. Take the weather strip, push that pin into the hole in the airbox. Now we need to install the rain shield. This comes with a protective layer of film on it. Peel that off. Remove this 10mm bolt. 10mm wasn't listed in the beginning, but you'll need it. And what this is going to do is just keep the water off of the filter, but still allow the airflow.